I. Once again. It was the night after I had come first in my year group. An audio file called The Quotations of the Slut Lin Shuxia Who Licks Dogs was posted in the class group. I saw that the title of the file was my name. My heart sank. I clicked on it nervously. At the front was my sweet, sincere, bright self. I like you. At the back was Chen Ye's careless complaint. If it weren't for helping Yao Yao regain first place in the class, I would have no interest in playing the love game with Lin Shuxia. Every day I hear her say she loves you. I'm going to throw up. I suddenly clenched my hands. The sharp tips of my fingernails dug into my flesh, and I felt a sudden tingling, but I squeezed them tighter and tighter. It was as if the pain in my flesh could cover up the pain in my heart. The class group. The students were frantically refreshing the page. Lin Shuxia really is quite the dog licker. I've heard her tell Wild Brother several times that I like you. That's hilarious. Licking dogs has gotten her nowhere. I've never seen a girl so desperate to get someone's attention like her. What a loser. But didn't Chen Ye actively pursue Lin Shuxia? Don't blame me. Blame me if you want. I already said that Brother Yi was only after Shen Yao. If he started dating Lin Shuxia, she would be distracted and her grades would drop, which would be good for Shen Yao. I was surprised at the time that Lin Shuxia, who had fallen from the sky, could beat Qi Mei. It turned out that the childhood sweetheart had endured humiliation and gone undercover to be by the fallen girl's side. This childhood sweetheart and childhood friend couple is so good, and the fallen girl can just go away. Before Lin Shuxia transferred here, Yao Shen was always the top student in her year. But as soon as she arrived, she took the top spot. I would be upset too if I were in her shoes. I really hate Lin Shuxia. She says hello and you're cute. She says goodbye and I like you so much. And I ask, what? Is she pretending to be a bright, lively little sunshine? Who knows? It's like someone you've hated for a long time is finally discovered by everyone. Everyone was having a great time chatting away. They completely forgot that I, the person involved, was also in the group. Or maybe, it didn't really matter whether I was there or not. Shen Yao and I are two different people. She's the class monitor, a good girl, an academic star, the standard model of a good student. I, on the other hand, have a lively and outgoing personality. I thought that my interpersonal relationships with the other students in the class weren't bad. But today I realized that I was just being conceited. I silently quit the class group. I still couldn't let go. I called Chen Ye. I wanted to ask him personally if what he said on the recording was true. He only approached me because of Shen Yao, and being with me made him sick. The phone rang for a long time before it was answered. The environment there was a bit noisy. Chen Ye's low voice reached my eardrums. Xiao Xiao. I asked after a slight pause. Aren't you resting at home? Chen Ye hadn't answered yet. Not far away, I heard a clear girl's voice. Come quickly. It's your turn. I heard it clearly. That was clearly Shen Yao's voice. Chen Ye said to me quickly, Xiao Xiao, I'm busy here. Talk about anything tomorrow at school. Be good. Before I could reply, he hung up hastily. A series of beeps came from the receiver. I held the phone. An indescribable feeling of sadness welled up in my heart. My heart was in a mess. At that moment, a WeChat message popped up on the screen of the phone. I clicked to open it. It was a video sent by Shen Yao. In the dimly lit private room, the lighting was ambiguous and blurry. Shen Yao and Chen Ye were playing a game of passing a beer bottle cap from mouth to mouth. On the small beer bottle cap, there is a dice. Teetering. Shen Yao's cheeks are rosy, her small cherry lips holding the bottle cap, her eyes looking at Chen Ye wetly. She looks like a cute, obedient kitten. Chen Ye smiles, half smiling. Which genius came up with this game? Receiving bottle caps from mouth to mouth, and not letting the dice fall. The people around him think he doesn't want to. They jeer. They teased him, asking if he was afraid, if he couldn't afford to play. Shen Yao felt a little lost when she heard this. Her sparkling eyes dimmed. The next second, Chen Ye suddenly leaned over and took the bottle cap out of Shen Yao's mouth. He turned his head and spat it out. Then he kissed her deeply on the lips. The handsome man and beautiful woman kissed deeply. The scene was so beautiful and romantic that it looked like a painting. The onlookers froze for 2 seconds. Suddenly, there was a deafening roar of screams and cheers. When the kiss was over, Chen Ye glanced at the bottle cap on the ground and laughed lightly. I lost the dice, he said, lazily raising his hands. I give up. The video ended abruptly. Shen Yao sent a few more WeChat messages. Lin Shuxia, congratulations on getting first place again. But I'm really sorry. I heard that you invited Chen Ye to go out for Japanese food after school. But he refused, because he wanted to stay with me. After all, I messed up. So I'm the one who needs comforting. Right. You shouldn't be mad if I borrow your boyfriend for the night. Right. I looked at those provocative WeChat messages. I suddenly laughed. It was so good. All the questions that I couldn't figure out. At this moment, they all had answers. Today, when I got off school, I did invite Chen Ye to eat Japanese food. At that time, I was still basking in the joy of getting first place. I was walking around skipping, a little overjoyed. That restaurant has been open for 6 months, and the business is so good that I've been wanting to eat there for a long time. Chen Ye had his hands in his pockets, not in the mood. He even looked a little annoyed. You're so happy just because you got first place on the exam. I tilted my head and looked at him with wide eyes. I'm happy. Yizhuang is the top school in the city. I got first place in my grade twice in a row. Isn't that worth being happy about? The gloomy look in the corner of Chen Ye's eyes became more obvious. I observed his expression. Finally, I noticed that he didn't seem very happy. Chen Ye was at the bottom of the class again this time. But he didn't care about the results at all, so he shouldn't be sad about failing. Then why wasn't he happy? Was it because I had done so well in the exam that my pride had been hurt? And that made me feel uncomfortable. As I thought about this, I took Chen Ye's hand firmly and said in a serious tone, results don't mean everything. In my heart, Chen Ye is just Chen Ye. No matter how well or badly you do in your exams, I'll always like you. Chen Ye suddenly shook off my hand and said maliciously, Lin Shuxia, don't you feel sick of hanging around saying you like me every day? The most obsequious dog I've ever seen in my life doesn't even come close to you. I was momentarily dumbfounded. I looked at him blankly. My heart ached slightly, and I felt a little overwhelmed. I didn't know what I had said to make Chen Ye suddenly turn his face away from me. Is saying to someone you like, I like you, just like an obsequious dog. My parents love each other very much. They always told me, baby, love needs to be expressed, not kept hidden in your heart. Don't be shy about saying you love the person you like. Could it be that everything my parents taught me since I was little was wrong? Chen Ye looked at me in a daze, and a flash of remorse passed through his eyes. His voice also softened. I'm sorry, Xiao Xiao. I've been a bit tired lately and want to go home and rest. Can I take you out for Japanese food some other time? I quickly smiled. He waved his hand and said it was okay. But Chen Ye, who said he wanted to go home and rest, actually wanted to comfort his little green plum. I only understood today. It turns out that a flushed ear does not mean a beating heart. It turns out that liking someone can also be acted out. I hid in the bathroom. I turned the faucet to the maximum and cried uncontrollably. When I was crying a little out of breath, many memories of my relationship with Chen Ye flashed through my mind. A year ago, because of my father's company's business expansion, I transferred to No. Yi Middle School. Chen Ye and I were in the same class. He always slept in class. I heard that his family was very wealthy and the teachers couldn't control him. As a classmate, he was not difficult to get along with. He was very quiet when he slept. Sometimes his whole face was buried in his arms, and sometimes he would turn his face towards me. The morning light was dawning, and the morning sun was just beginning to appear. The sunlight fell on his face, and the contours of his face were as sharp as if carved by a knife. Long eyelashes, a handsome nose, and thin lips. I propped my chin up and looked at him, lost in thought. I thought to myself, this is a face that is truly incredibly handsome. But then, Chen Ye suddenly opened his eyes. When our eyes met, I froze, but he smiled. He spoke his first words to me. Do you like it? My heart was pounding. I blushed instantly and quickly looked down at my book, pretending to be busy. Later, Chen Ye began to chase me like crazy. Soon we were together. He was the first boyfriend I had when I first fell in love. I took our relationship very seriously. To be fair, Chen Ye was also impeccable when playing the boyfriend. He liked to give me gifts and surprise me with all kinds of romance. His study was off limits even to his parents, but he had no defenses against me. When I had period pains and wanted to eat the wonton soup from the restaurant in the south of the city, he would ride his motorcycle all the way across town in the cold winter night to buy me a bowl of wonton soup. Memories like these are like poison coated in sugar. I finally gave up. I gathered myself together and knocked on the door to my father's study. Even though I had been applying ice cubes to my eyes for half a day, I could hardly see any difference. My father still keenly noticed that I had been crying. Honey, why are you crying? Has something happened? I said with my head hanging down. Dad, I don't want to study at Yizhuang anymore. The pressure is really too great. I want to transfer schools. Without even thinking, my father agreed, stroked my hair with his large hand, and said tenderly, Okay, honey, you can go wherever you want. Just do your best in your studies. Don't be too stressed. Even if the sky falls, I'll be there to hold it up for you. Okay. Facing my father's concern, my nose became a little moist again, and I nearly burst into tears. Liu. When my mother heard that I wanted to transfer schools, she didn't ask why. She unconditionally supported my decision. Just before going to bed, she took the initiative to get into my quilt and said she wanted to sleep with me. I snuggled into my mother's embrace. My mother's embrace is so fragrant. I thought I would be unable to sleep, but I didn't. I closed my eyes and fell asleep quickly. The next day, my father went to school to handle the transfer procedures for me. I wanted to go with him, but he stopped me and handed me a card. Dad can go, he said. Take this opportunity to go shopping, buy whatever you want, and don't save money for Dad. I bought a few blind boxes, and then went to the bookstore. My favorite author had released a new book, and the bookstore happened to have the last copy. I just reached out to take it. Then I heard a surprised voice behind me. Great, Chen Ye, there's still one here. Without hesitation, I picked up the book. I turned around and looked at Chen Ye and Shen Yao. The two of them stood together, the man handsome and the woman beautiful, like a perfect couple. Chen Ye froze when he saw me. Xiao, why aren't you in class? I didn't answer. I walked straight past them and went to pay for the books. Shen Yao quickly grabbed my hand and begged pitifully. Lin Shuxia, can you let me have this book? How about if I pay 10 times the price? I went to every bookstore today to buy this book, but they were all sold out. And this is the only store that still has the last copy. I refused in a calm voice. Sorry, I don't need the money. Shen Yao's face suddenly turned white, her expression a little embarrassed, and a layer of misty tears appeared in her eyes. Chen Ye frowned at me and said, Today is Yao Yao's birthday. Be generous and let her have it. The book will be restocked soon. Just wait a few days. I couldn't help but retort. Then why doesn't Shen Yao just wait a few days? I got this book first. First come, first served. What's the problem? Chen Ye's face turned completely cold, and his eyes froze into ice. Is it really funny that you're jealous of her? Lin Shuxia, he said mockingly. Seriously, do you really like this author? You're just doing this to spite her because you know she likes it, aren't you? Shen Yao stood behind Chen Ye, smiling triumphantly at me. I looked up and fixed my gaze on Chen Ye. So, That's how you see me. Perhaps it was because I looked so serious. Chen Ye's eyes flickered for a moment, but quickly returned to normal. He frowned and coaxed me in a low voice. Stop it. Xia. When the restocks arrive, I'll buy it for you first. Okay. I suddenly felt utterly meaningless. I thrust the book into Chen Ye's arms and said, word for word, I don't want it anymore. I don't want to like you anymore. Chen Ye. From then on, we never heard from each other again. Spring mountains are like jade, and grass is like smoke. Qi. I didn't want to run into Chen Ye or Shen Yao again, so I transferred to Nanhua High School in the next city. Nanhua is a prestigious school that is not inferior to Yizhang. I had a strong ability to adapt, and I quickly caught up with the teacher's progress. This time I buried my head in my studies and didn't socialize, until the day the monthly exam results were posted. When I accidentally came first in the class again, my classmates gathered around the list and chattered. Holy shit. Am I blind? Jiang Shuashan actually came second. You're not blind. Because I saw it too. No. Who is this Lin Shuxia who came first? I've never seen her before. She's in our class. She's a super pretty beauty, but she's a bit difficult to get along with and has a cold personality. I think she's a transfer student who just arrived not long ago. Or maybe she transferred from the next school. She's from the next school. Then it's fine. What do you mean? The cow from the next school. What? Why try to boost someone else's morale and bring down your own? Jiang Yu's academic god has met his match this time. Just wait and see the show. Hee hee. Everyone was discussing it enthusiastically, but my heart was half cold. How could Nanhua also have a bully ranking academic? The incident with Shen Yao had left a psychological scar on me. To avoid unnecessary trouble, during lunch break, I knocked on the door of the homeroom teacher Zhang's office. There was also a good-looking young man in the office, tall and thin, with a handsome face and a gentle scholarly air. I couldn't help but stare at him. The young man probably sensed my gaze. As I continued to stare at him, he slowly straightened his back, which was already very straight. Teacher Jiang asked me what I wanted, and I remembered why I had come. Teacher Jiang, I want to see Jiang Yu's test paper. The boy glanced at me when he heard this. Teacher Jiang first looked at the boy, then turned to me and asked jokingly, why do you want to see his test paper? Do you have a crush on him? She was in her 30s, had a baby face, dressed like a college student, and was the kind of teacher who was very approachable. I wasn't surprised that she was joking with her students. It's just that I didn't blush yet. But the boy's face blushed first. I looked at him strangely. As a result, I watched his fair face grow redder and redder, almost as if it were going to burn. Teacher Jiang asked again. I hurriedly answered. I just wanted to take a look at the academic top students' test paper to facilitate learning and improvement. Teacher Jiang smiled. Jiang Yu didn't do as well as you, so don't show me any regression. I instantly broke into a sweat. What I said was careless, but what I heard was meaningful. I really wanted to see Jiang Yu's test paper to see if I had regressed. I wanted to assess her strength first. I planned to control my score below hers in the next exam so as not to steal her limelight. I don't want to attract a second Shen Yao. In the end, Ms. Jiang didn't make things difficult for me and handed me the test paper. I carefully went through it, got a basic understanding of Jiang Yu's strength, and returned the paper to the teacher. When I left the office, the young man followed me. We walked one after the other along the corridor of the teaching building, one after the other. We entered the classroom of Class 1. Are we even in the same class? Bah! That little incident didn't attract much of my attention that day. I went back to my old routine of ignoring everything outside the classroom and focusing on my studies. Then there were 2 more tests. I fell from first place to second, and every time I was 10 points behind Jiang Yu. Everyone's attention returned to Jiang Yu. They all sighed, saying that Jiang Shueshan was truly the best student at Nanhua, easily beating the top students at the other schools. I was secretly delighted. I'm not bad. The score control was a real success. On the way back to the classroom, my steps were much lighter, but in a quiet corner, I was suddenly stopped. It was the boy I saw in the office last time. His dark eyes seemed to be burning with two flames. He looked so angry and beautiful. Lin Shuxia, what do you really mean? I was confused. He seemed even angrier. You still are, I said carefully. Classmate, did you mistake me for someone else? I don't know you. Is there someone else at our school named Lin Shuxia? Once the words were out, it was like having stirred up a hornet's nest. Now his eyes were red, and his tone was both aggrieved and incredulous. You don't know me. You don't know me. So what? I looked at him with a face of complete innocence. The boy gnashed his teeth and accused me. Lin Shuxia, you're so bullying. You asked the class teacher for my exam paper, saying that you wanted to study, but you were actually trying to control my score. You're always 10 points behind me in every exam. Do you think I'm stupid and can't tell? The more he said, the more upset he became. A thin layer of mist even appeared in his eyes. And you even, he paused, even didn't know that I was Jiang Yu. I was instantly thunderstruck. Oh my god. Jiang Yu is actually a boy, and he's the same boy I met in Mr. Zhang's office last time. I almost made Jiang Yu cry that day. I felt quite guilty when I was caught by the person involved. It was indeed a bit arrogant to control the score. In fact, my original intention was to keep a low profile. Unexpectedly, due to a series of unfortunate circumstances, I became even more high profile and danced right in front of the main character. When Jiang Yu's teacher found out, she nearly died of laughter. She is Jiang Yu's aunt, and she loves to watch the drama unfold. She even moved us to the same desk. Jiang Yu said to me seriously, Lin Shuxia, please respect me and stop deducting points. I nodded firmly and held up 2 fingers. Okay, I promise. After becoming Jiang Yu's desk partner, I discovered that he really has a gentle personality. Every time he couldn't argue with me, he would look at me helplessly and indulgent, and his address to me also changed from Lin Shuxia to Xiaoxia or Xiaoxiao. That afternoon, my mother called me. She said that a former classmate from No. 1 middle school had come to the house, a rather handsome boy, looking lost and disoriented. He said he had come to give me some books and asked after my whereabouts. My mother said, you actually transferred because of him, didn't you? I didn't take his books and told him you had gone abroad. I was a little surprised that my mother had guessed. After all, when I first started dating Chen Ye, I hid it from my parents. My mother laughed. I'm your mother. After all, even if you don't say anything, a mother can tell. When I first heard the news about Chen Ye, I was still a little sad. It so happened that the test results came out that day. Jiang Yu had a 1-point lead over me. He first blinked, his thick eyelashes trembling slightly, his expression a little incredulous. You didn't cheat on the exam, did you? I covered my face and crouched down to fake cry. You scored 1 point higher than me, and you're rubbing salt in my wound. You have no heart. I was faking the crying, but as I cried, my tears became real. Jiang Yu was so flustered that he didn't know what to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Xiaoxia, please don't cry. Okay. If you forgive me, I'll promise you anything. I stopped crying instantly. I suddenly came up to him and looked at him with a smile. Really promise anything? His ears turned red and he nodded unnaturally. I was fired up. I got ready and racked my brains, but I didn't have any good ideas. The girl at the front desk called her Li Zi, and we had become familiar over this period of time. When she heard this, her eyes twinkled and she came up with a plan. Then let Jiang Shueshan pretend to be Xiao Xiu's boyfriend, just like AI boyfriend, provide emotional value, and it will end after the college entrance exam. She looked at me with great interest. What do you think? I looked at Jiang Yu blankly. What do you think? Jiang Yu first widened his eyes, then blushed and whispered, "No need to pretend." I and Chestnut looked at each other with wide eyes. Hey! His eyes were sparkling, and a tiny me was reflected in his dark pupils. Lin Shuxia, I like you. 10. Heartbeat quickening moments. I chickened out. I fled. I finally discovered it. I'm a complete face junkie. When I saw Jiang Yu's handsome and pretty face, my heart races, my mind goes blank, and I lose the ability to think. You may think this is normal, but it isn't. It's very dangerous. So, I started avoiding Jiang Yu. I even asked to switch seats with Chestnut. Jiang Yu and I discussed homework. I even looked serious. You don't talk to me. He obediently nodded. Okay, then. Before long, he came to me again with homework. Cyoxia, help me with this problem. No talking. Sorry, I forgot again. The cycle continued. 11. Chen Ye received a phone call from his younger brother Jiang Yu in the middle of the night. Jiang Yu asked him very seriously for advice on how to woo a girl. They were biological brothers. When they were 10 years old, their parents divorced, and Jiang Yu took his mother's surname and followed her. Jiang Yu was given to the very rich father. Over the years, the brothers' bond had never broken. Chen Ye was a little surprised. Are you in love? Jiang Yu admitted generously. I really like her, but I don't know how to make her like me. Chen Ye was a little dazed. He remembered a cute and clear voice as well. Chen Ye, I really like you. Chen Ye, you're the best. She always said she really liked him. Sincere and unreserved. A young girl's feelings are too passionate. He couldn't help but be moved and attracted to her. Lin Shuxiao was like orange sparkling water. Bubbles kept popping up in his heart, sending ripples, and turning into sweet and sour thoughts. He almost forgot that he was only after her because of Shen Yao. Shen Yao had seen the signs earlier than he had. Pretending to be exaggerating, she asked him, You're not really falling for Lin Shuxia, are you? The boy's unspeakable and subtle thoughts were revealed. His inexplicable pride took over. He was furious and vehemently denied it. He started to keep a voice recorder in his pocket, recording every moment he spent with Lin Shuxia. He caught every time Lin Shuxia said, I like you, into a collection, made it into a compilation of quotes from a dog liquor, and pretended to be disgusted, saying that Lin Shuxia always hung love on her lips. It's disgusting. Back then, he was so despicable and cowardly. He tried to cover up the sound of his pounding heart by humiliating the other person. He sent the quotations to Shen Yao. This was his way of proving that he really didn't like Lin Shuxia. But he didn't expect Shen Yao to send that file out behind his back. That night, they played the game of passing the bottle caps in the KTV. He looked into Shen Yao's affectionate eyes, and Lin Shuxia's eyes flashed through his mind involuntarily. Bright, playful, and cute, unforgettable. His heart skipped a beat, as if to shake off the haunting figure in his mind. He suddenly lifted Shen Yao's chin and kissed her deeply. After the kiss ended, Chen Ye felt confused. He even felt a sense of guilt for cheating. He felt like he was crazy. How could his kiss with Shen Yao be considered cheating? They had been childhood sweethearts, and were a perfect match. 11. The last time he saw Lin Shuxiao was in a bookstore. They had a fight over a book. Chen Ye forced her to give it up and let Shen Yao have it. He was being simple-minded. It was just a book. And when the restock arrived, he would give her 10 or 8 to make it up to her. But then he realized his mistake. He could never make it up to her, because Lin Shuxia had suddenly disappeared. Before he knew what he really felt for her, she had vanished from his life without warning. And then he realized with hindsight that the slut's words had been sent by Shen Yao. Furious, he confronted Shen Yao. Shen Yao tilted her head and looked at him with a calm tone. Chen Ye, you caught it yourself. Chen Ye's face lost all its blood. Yes, he caught it himself. So why should he be afraid of the person concerned seeing it? He convinced himself. It doesn't matter if it disappears. It's all fake anyway. But as time passed, Chen Ye couldn't help but think of Lin Shuxia. When that smiling face appeared in his mind for the 99th time, he finally admitted that he also liked Lin Shuxia. He went crazy, trying to find out where his homeroom teacher Lin Shuxia had gone. But the homeroom teacher didn't know either. In the end, he only found out the address of Lin Shuxia's villa. Holding his books, he went there. Lin Shuxia's mother saw him. She had a polite smile on her face, but her eyes were a little cold. She didn't want his books, and told him that Lin Shuxia had gone abroad. Did she really go abroad? Chen Ye came out of the Lin family like a dog from a funeral, walking down the street in a daze. The sky began to drizzle. The businesses on the street played deafening music. I like you. Those moving eyes. And even more charming laughter. I hope to again stroke your lovely face, holding hands and talking in our sleep. Like yesterday, you and I. Every night I walk alone, wandering everywhere. So cold. In the past, struggling for myself. I never knew her pain. Chen Ye's heart broke as he listened. He staggered and suddenly fell to his knees. On the corner of a busy street, he wept his heart out. Brother, are you listening? Jiang Yu's voice suddenly interrupted his memories. Chen Ye replied, What? I said, do you know how to chase a girl? Chen Ye replied absent-mindedly. Do you have abs? Seduce her. Jiang Yu. Just as he was about to hang up, Chen Ye suddenly remembered something and asked again. By the way, did your school have any transfer students with excellent grades this semester? She's very pretty, loves to smile, and her name is Lin Shuxia. There was a zealous sound of electricity from the other end of the line. Then came Jiang Yu's gentle voice. No, I don't know her. Sure. The last semester ended quickly. During the winter break, I went home. Jiang Yu Weixin messaged me every day. Sometimes he would send me pictures of the bright moon. The moonlight is so beautiful tonight. Sometimes he would send me pictures of puppies. So cute. Just like you. That night, I suddenly received a picture of Jiang Yu's abs. He broke through the surface of the pool, and the curtain of water fell like a waterfall, winding down along his 8 clearly defined abdominal muscles and disappearing into the hem of his pants. The white skin was coated with a seductive honey color from the pool lighting. I never would have guessed that Jiang Yu, who looks so refined, has such a great body. Who wouldn't be confused by this? I quickly saved the photo. Then I slowly sent back a question mark. The next second, Jiang Yu withdrew the photo. Sorry, I sent it by mistake. I watched him as he tried to cover up his mistake. I found it funny. Luckily, I had saved it first. A fast hand seizes the day. I threw my phone on the bed and didn't reply. When I got out of the bath, I found that Jiang Yu had sent 10 days worth of WeChat messages. I really sent it by mistake just now. Cyoxia. Why are you ignoring me? Cat crying. JPG. Okay. I didn't send it by mistake. I sent it to you on purpose. I thought you like it. I was presumptuous. I won't do it again. Cyoxia. Don't be mad at me. Please talk to me. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll apologize to you in person. I'm coming to see you. Me. It's a 3-hour drive from the next city to my house. It's now 9 p.m. So Jiang Yu is going to travel hundreds of kilometers in the middle of the night to apologize to me. For some reason, my heart started pounding. Lying in bed, I couldn't help but start looking forward to Jiang Yu's arrival. At 10 past midnight, my phone screen suddenly popped up a WeChat message. Jiang Zhaiyu. Cyoxia. Come to the window. I quickly got out of bed, put on my slippers, and walked to the window to look down. Jiang Yu was standing outside my house, smiling and waving at me. The young man was as handsome as jade, tall and slender. The night was behind him, the moonlight on his face, and in the distance I could hear the sound of fireworks exploding. I could hear my own heartbeat like thunder. I seemed to really like Jiang Yu. I stepped in my slippers and dashed downstairs. Jiang Yu, you really came. I said I wanted to apologize to you in person. He said, blushing and speaking in a serious tone. I'm sorry, Cyaxia. I like you. But I didn't know how to express it. So I lost my head and resorted to some unscrupulous means. Actually, I quite like it when he resorts to unscrupulous means. But now I'm afraid to say I like you so easily. I stammered. I'm actually quite touched that you came to see me. Jiang, maybe we can try. Jiang Yu's eyes lit up, and suddenly he reached out and covered my mouth. I blinked. He leaned down slightly towards me, his dark eyes moist as water. Cyaxia, don't make any decisions based on a momentary feeling, because it may not come from your heart. I can wait until you really like me. After the college entrance exam is over, will you tell me your answer? 13. In the second semester of our senior year, we all focused our attention. We devoted ourselves to our studies. Even the usually laid-back Li Zi was on edge, as if facing a major challenge. Time passed quickly. As the college entrance exam approached, the school let out for the holidays. I didn't read any books, just rested at home, and took the day off. In the evening, I received a WeChat message from Jiang Yu. It was a short but powerful sentence. Hang in there. I believe in you. When I walked into the exam room, I was full of confidence, and the exam went very well. The candidates rushed towards the school gate like a surging river. Parents were waiting there early. Everyone hugged, screamed, cried and laughed. All the sounds were connected together. It was both the ending and the beginning of the song. It announced the end of high school life and also the beginning of a new chapter in life. After the exam, I remembered my promise with Jiang Yu. I began to feel nervous. Jiang Yu didn't rush me, but just asked me via WeChat which school I would apply to. I replied, Tsinghua and Peking University. On the day of the class reunion, I caught a bad cold, which gave me a good excuse not to go. I looked listless as I lay on the sofa, staring at my phone. My mother came over and touched my forehead. Luckily, the fever has already gone down. I suddenly sat up straight and looked at my mother. Mom, I think I've fallen for a boy. My mother's mouth curved into a smile, with an expression that said, so you finally told me. I felt a little embarrassed and touched my nose. My cold made my voice sound a bit hoarse. He likes me too. I don't know if I should be with him. My mother stroked my hair. My dear, don't be afraid of being hurt and not dare to express your love. Those who should be punished are the ones who recklessly hurt others, not those who bravely express their love. Since you like each other, why don't you get together? My dear, don't let yourself regret it. My eyes grew brighter and my heart suddenly felt clear. I kissed my mother on the cheek. Thank you, Mom. Then I bought the last high-speed train ticket and rushed to Jiang Yu. Last time he came to see me. This time I'll go see him. When I arrived at Jiang Yu's house, I remembered that he had gone to a class reunion. I didn't want to send him a message. I wanted to surprise him, so I sat on the steps and waited. It didn't take long, and Jiang Yu's figure appeared in my line of sight. I stood up abruptly. I crashed into his arms like a cannonball. I tilted my head back and looked at him with sparkling eyes. Jiang Yu, I like you. Let's be together. Jiang Yu had a light smell of alcohol on him. His cheeks were a rosy red, and when he looked at me with downcast eyes, he looked a little dazed. Am I dreaming? He pinched his face hard, and it hurt so much that he let out a hissing sound. His eyes gradually cleared, and a huge light exploded in his eyes. Cyaxia, it's me. Have you agreed to be with me? I looked at him. Before transferring to Nanhua, I had a failed relationship. My feelings were trampled on and worthless, so I became a coward. I was afraid to back down and I didn't dare to accept you. Actually, I've been in love with you for a long time. Let's be together. Jiang Yu kissed me suddenly. I was out of breath from the kiss, and only then did I suddenly remember that I was a patient. Blushing, I tried to push him away. I have a cold. Don't want to infect you. It's okay. Then let's do it together. 14. Jianyu's mother had gone on a business trip. There was only his brother at home, and no elders. He secretly took me back to his room. As soon as the door closed, I pushed Jianyu up against the wall and took the initiative to kiss him on the lips. Then I slowly swam down, kissing the neck where the veins stood out and the Adam's apple stood out. Jianyu let out a muffled groan, a sexy low gasp. He wrapped his arms around me tightly and let me do whatever I wanted. He looked at me with a dazed expression in his eyes, his lips a glistening sheet of water. Just as they were about to part ways, someone knocked on the door outside. I quickly ran to the bed like a frightened rabbit and hid myself under the covers. Jianyu was on the other side of the door. What is it? I'm going to sleep. The male voice outside the door snickered. Open the door. From under the covers, I heard Jianyu open the door. The person outside the door said, Ultra thin Ling Yao, take precautions. And the soundproofing in old buildings is not good, so you should be more restrained. Jianyu said angrily. It's not what you think. The man's voice was lazy. Okay, I'll mind my own business. There was silence at the door. I thought the man had left. I lifted the quilt covering my head. With a cold, my nose was already blocked, and I was hiding under the quilt. I was dizzy and about to run out of oxygen, until a trembling voice suddenly sounded in my ear. Xiao Xiao. I looked in the direction of the sound. Chen Ye was standing in the doorway, clenching his fists, his eyes red as he looked at me. 15. I never thought I would see Chen Ye again, and I never thought that Chen Ye and Jiangyu were brothers. They didn't look anything alike, not in appearance or personality. They were almost polar opposites. Chen Ye apologized to me in a hoarse voice. I'm sorry, Xiao Xiao. In the past I was young and reckless, and hurt you without knowing it. I looked at him indifferently. He slowly knelt in front of me and kept slapping himself in the face. Xiao Xiao, I really miss you. You transferred schools and left, and I've been looking for you ever since, almost going crazy. But you disappeared without a trace and I could never find you again. Xiao Xiao, I like you. That audio was sent by Shen Yao, not me. I had no idea about it and I didn't mean to hurt you. I've now completely cut ties with Shen Yao. Can you give me another chance to make amends? I wanted to viciously repay him for all the hurtful things he had said to me. What love and affection. It's disgusting. But before the words left my mouth, I didn't say them. There was no need. What had happened in the past was over. I didn't want to become someone like Chen Ye. So I said lightly, Chen Ye, you're really despicable. And apologies aren't everything. I won't forgive you. Chen Ye looked at me in despair, and suddenly pointed at Jiangyu and angrily said, So you think he's some kind of good guy? He knew I was looking for you a long time ago, and I even asked him if he had seen a transfer student named Lin Shuxia. He said no. He actually said no. I like you. Jiangyu stood in front of me. Whatever you have against me, don't take it out on Xiuxia. Chen Yi flew into a rage. You stupid green tea. The two brothers fought. They hit each other without mercy. I didn't try to stop them. When they were both covered in bruises and sitting on the ground panting, I took Jiangyu's hand and went to the pharmacy. Chen Yi watched our backs as we held hands. So close. He simply lay back, on the cold floor. The bright lights were a bit blinding. He covered his eyes with the back of his hand. There were tears in the corner of his eyes, silently sliding down. It seemed as if he had completely lost Lin Shuxia. 16. It didn't take long. A video of Qibei freshmen professing their love for each other went viral. The pretty girl smiled and said, I like you. The handsome boy blushed. He answered somewhat seriously, stubbornly, and childishly. I like you 100 times more than you like me, more than yesterday, slightly lacking tomorrow.